My name is Autley. I am the prisoner, and my life is exceptional.
Hi Autley, thank you for your time, for your testimony. We're going to start with the interview. The first one is, why are you the prisoner?
I'm the prisoner because there have been things in my life that have kept me captive that eventually led me down a wrong path, and I was a literal prisoner for a little while.
Okay. And what things in your life kept you captive?
Growing up, I was very good in school and was bored. I would finish my work very early. I wasn't very challenged, so I would look for other things to entertain myself. I kept on getting in trouble in pretty much every single school I went to. But my parents and my teachers didn't really pay much attention since I was getting good grades and things like that. I'm Jamaican. In my culture, we used to get spanked if we misbehaved, and I would get corrected that way often. But some things just never changed, really. I always looked for excitement wherever I could find it, which often wasn't the best thing. When I was 16, I went to college, and being 16 in college was a whole new world. Imagine that amount of freedom for a 16-year-old. I met, I guess, the wrong people and started hanging out, doing wrong things. Eventually, a friend and I robbed another person, and that landed me in jail for about 2 days. So it wasn't a long time, but I think that was the changing point in my life that really got me to wake up and realize that I was headed down the wrong path that I didn't want to be anymore.
Okay. And what was it like being in jail?
Sometimes I still think about it. It's the loneliest thing I've ever experienced in my life. So much so that I tell everybody I would never go back. As a matter of fact, before I even went to jail, a part of me wanted to go. I always thought about it. Well, I want to see what it's like. You can't see outside. You can't go outside. You can't talk to your family. You can't do anything you want to do. And that sounds obvious. You're in jail, of course not. But actually experiencing that type of enclosure and restriction is very emotional and difficult. I remember first getting there and being scared, wondering, who's my cellmate gonna be? It could be anybody. I don't know anybody here. It was very late at night, maybe about 2 in the morning, and I got into my cell. My cellmate was asleep. In the morning, I woke up and he was out on the balcony. We were on the second level, overlooking the mess area where everybody was, the common area. And I went out to him, and he said something to me that I'd never forget. He said, "Look out there. Do you know anybody?" And I said, "No." This guy, he was about 35 years old. He had been to jail before. And he said to me, "This isn't for you. This life, this place isn't for you. You could end up dead on the stairs and no one would care about you. In a place like this, if you don't know anybody, you're pretty much dead." And that shook me. How could someone who doesn't know me at all know that much about me? I could have been anybody. But he was right. This wasn't the place for me. I wasn't raised that way. I was embarrassed that I was there. I was embarrassed about what I was putting my family through. I was embarrassed because I felt like I was throwing my life away. and I didn't know what would have been next. The experience itself wasn't the worst. I didn't get hurt or anything like that. I wasn't there a long time, but being that restricted, as I said before, and depressed is not something I'll ever forget.
Okay. And now, what has changed in your life?
Everything, really. I got out and I had to await my trial. I was getting charged with 2 felonies. The first one was breaking and entering, and the second was obviously theft. And I was looking at a potential 3 years in jail. Naturally, obviously, on its own, that's significant. But for me, especially since I'm a Jamaican citizen, so a lot of things were going through my mind. If I go to jail for 3 years, I might get deported. I won't be able to finish school. Everything in my life would change in such a drastic way because of one night's stupid decision, because of one night's boredom. And my parents would tell me that all the time, you could have potentially ruined your life for nothing. I didn't need the money. It wasn't about that. I'm not a bad person trying to, we were bored and wanted to do something we thought was fun. I awaited my trial. It was about 2 months away, and a week before I had to go, I was in contact with my lawyer the whole time and everything like that. I wasn't sure what was going to happen. My mom told us that we should fast and pray for that week before the trial date actually happened. The day came, I got dressed, got to court, and I walked in. My lawyer saw me, he went in, spoke to the judge, and in 5 minutes he came back out, told me that I was free to go. We had been stressing for so long, but the judge decided to just drop my case. It was my first time, and they said, you're a good student, things like that, and so they decided to throw it out. They might have thought that they gave me a break because of who they thought I was, but I know differently. I know that God is who saved me from that situation. People have gone to jail for longer, for lesser, and it could have so easily been me. I walked out of the court and my mom called me, and I remember her telling me on the phone, it's time you start living for God now. He's done so much for you. He keeps working miracles. It's time you start giving back. The most significant difference in my life is that before, I wouldn't be going to church, I wouldn't pray, nothing. I felt like if I was doing wrong things, I couldn't call on God. I couldn't do both. I couldn't, but now I'm not perfect. I still do bad things sometimes. But I'll never sacrifice in a relationship with God because I don't feel worthy. He wants me to come to Him, I believe. Whatever the situation is, whatever I'm going through, He still wants to be close to me, and I think that's the most significant difference now that experience brought about is I will never sacrifice a relationship with God for anything anymore.
Thank you. And the last question is, what message do you have for us?
The message I have for you all is a message I'd have for myself if I could go back. Just keep praying. Never lose sight of God because He loves us so much. And often we feel bogged down by a lot of things in our life, and we prioritize different things in our life because these things might seem important to us in the moment, whatever it is, a girlfriend, a job, your grades even, or on futures, none of it is as important as a relationship with God is. Another thing I'd say is not to focus on our weaknesses. I remember having to go to therapy for a little while, and that was one of the most profound things he told me is we can turn our weaknesses into strengths. So things we think that we are bad at, things we think are holding us back, we can take those things and flip them for our benefit. For example, for me, my boredom. I would do bad things because I felt like I needed to fill that space, and now I think I can fill that space positively, building new relationships, working harder in school, praying more, focusing on a relationship with God. We can always turn our weaknesses into strengths if we keep praying and if we keep believing that there's something special for us. There's some goal out there that God has for us, and each day as our relationship grows with Him, He will reveal that to us more and more.
Okay, thank you very much. So you and I, we are not prisoners anymore, and God have saved us. So thank you very much, and we wish you the best in your life.
You're welcome. Thank you.